Are you also doing push-ups for ages with no chest growth but wrist pain? Stop training wrong. In fact, 90% of people fall into movement mistakes. In today's video, I will use authoritative data to break down the underlying logic of muscle growth through push-ups, covering everything from proper form to diet. You can build a full chest and toned arms accurately at home, even if you're a beginner. Many people new to push-up training fall into a common misconception, thinking that simply increasing the number of reps will lead to muscle growth. But this couldn't be further from the truth. The core prerequisite for muscle growth is progressive overload, gradually increasing training load to keep muscles under constant new stimulation, which triggers the physiological process of repair and growth. If you stick to the same intensity and rep count for a long time, your body will adapt to the load, and your muscles will lose the drive to grow. In actual training, poor form is an even more common problem than the lack of progressive overload. These seemingly minor form deviations not only drastically reduce training effectiveness but also raise the risk of exercise injuries. According to 2025 experimental data from the Chinese Pla General Hospital, 90% of fitness enthusiasts fail to build muscle due to ignoring movement details, with the three most common mistakes being sagging hips, elbows flaring out too widely, and insufficient range of motion. Sagging hips or sticking your butt up is one of the most prevalent form errors in push-ups. In this position, your torso cannot maintain a stable straight line, and your core muscles remain relaxed. As a result, the load that should be borne by your chest and triceps is largely transferred to your lumbar spine. Over time, this not only fails to effectively stimulate the target muscles but may also lead to chronic injuries like lumbar disc herniation. The correct approach is to adjust your body posture before training. Keep your feet together or shoulder width apart. When in the plank position, imagine holding a thin piece of paper between your back and hips, maintaining a straight line from head to toe throughout the movement, with your core muscles engaged at all times. The core goal of this posture adjustment is to ensure that the load is accurately applied to the target muscles. Muscles through core stability. Even if you need to reduce the number of reps to maintain good form, prioritize proper technique over quantity. Elbows flaring out too widely also severely impairs training effectiveness. The latest research in the Journal of Sports Medicine reveals that when elbows flare beyond 60 degrees, pectoralis major activation decreases by 41%, while the shoulder joints bear excessive stress, which can easily cause rotator cuff injuries over time. Many trainees make this mistake because they lack conscious muscle control during the movement, unconsciously spreading their elbows outward. The correct form is to keep your elbows close to your torso, maintaining a 30 to 45 degree angle as you push backward and downward, with your upper arms forming approximately a 30-degree angle with your body. This ensures that the chest and triceps are the primary driving muscles, avoiding excessive shoulder involvement. When starting out, practice in front of a mirror to correct this posture and gradually build muscle memory. Insufficient range of motion and irregular breathing are also easily overlooked key issues. Some trainees only do half push-ups to crank up the rep count, stopping halfway down before pushing back up. This prevents the chest muscles from getting a full stretch and contraction, resulting in subpar training results. Meanwhile, holding your breath or having an erratic breathing rhythm reduces force generation efficiency by 18% and may cause significant blood pressure fluctuations. The standard range of motion is to lower your body until your chest is about 3 centimeters off the ground. Then push up until your arms are fully extended but not locked. Maintain a slow, steady, and controlled pace throughout the movement. For breathing rhythm, follow the principle of inhaling on the way down and exhaling on the way up. Regular breathing supplies sufficient oxygen to the muscles and enhances your ability to control force. These details may seem minor, but they have a crucial impact on training effectiveness. Mastering proper form and breathing rhythm is essential to lay a solid foundation for muscle growth. Different training goals require targeted adjustments to your push-up routine. According to 2021 data from the British Journal of Sports Physiology, participants who Incorporated diverse training movements saw an average upper limb circumference increase of over 15% within 6 weeks. For those looking to strengthen their chest midline, narrow grip push-ups are far more effective. This variation boosts pectoralis major midline stimulation by 38%. To perform them, place your hands shoulder width apart or slightly narrower. Pause for 1 second at the lowest point of the movement, and consciously focus on the contraction in your chest midline. Consistent practice will help create more defined and three-dimensional chest lines. If your goal is to strengthen your triceps, diamond push-ups are one of the best options. Form a diamond shape with your thumbs and index fingers as the support point, and keep your elbows close to your torso as you push. This variation stimulates the triceps far more intensely than standard push-ups. Perform each set until you are 2 reps short of muscle failure to achieve more toned and defined back-of-arm lines. For sports enthusiasts aiming to improve explosive power, plyometric push-ups are a suitable choice. However, this advanced variation is highly demanding. Only attempt it once you can easily complete 30 standard push-ups to avoid injury from insufficient strength. To do them, push upward with all your strength during the concentric phase to briefly lift your hands off the ground. Then land gently to absorb the impact on the way down. This method not only strengthens muscle power but also enhances explosive performance, improving overall athletic ability. For those pursuing muscle shaping without excessive bulk, adjust your training pace and intensity. Reduce the number of sets and extend the eccentric lowering phase, for example, taking 3 seconds to lower and 1 second to push up. This approach helps create leaner, more defined muscle lines. Beyond training, a scientific diet is another key factor in successful muscle growth. Muscle growth essentially involves repairing and thickening muscle fibers after they sustain micro tears during training, a process that requires adequate nutritional support. According to the 2024 International Journal of Sport Nutrition and Exercise Metabolism, the recommended protein intake for muscle gain is 1.4 to 1.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. Excessive protein intake is safe but provides no additional benefits and may even affect testosterone levels and insulin secretion. This means a 60-kilogram person looking to build muscle needs 84 to 108 grams of protein daily. Prioritize high-quality sources such as chicken breast, lean beef, fish, eggs, and milk. And distribute this protein evenly across for 2-7 meals, with 20 to 40 grams of protein per meal. The 30-minute window after training is critical for muscle repair, supplementing with an appropriate amount of protein and carbohydrates during this time effectively kickstarts the muscle protein synthesis process. As the primary energy source during training, carbohydrate intake also needs to be scientifically managed. According to 2025 data from the All China Sports Federation, carbohydrate intake for muscle gain should be 4 to 6 grams per kilogram of body weight, which can be increased to 5 to 6 grams for strength trainers. Prioritize complex carbohydrates such as brown rice, quinoa, corn, and sweet potatoes, which should account for over 70% of your daily carbohydrate intake. Before and after training, you can appropriately supplement with fast-digesting carbohydrates, like bananas and white rice, to quickly boost energy or replenish glycogen stores. To support muscle growth while minimizing fat gain, maintain a caloric surplus of 300 to 500 kilocalories daily, with a macronutrient ratio of 50% carbohydrates, 30% protein, and 20% fat. Although often overlooked, fat intake is crucial for maintaining hormonal balance and cellular function, accounting for 20% to 30% of your daily total energy intake. Choose foods rich in unsaturated fatty acids such as olive oil, nuts, and deep-sea fish, and avoid excessive saturated and trans fats. Additionally, water and electrolyte balance and micronutrient supplementation cannot be ignored. Muscles are 75% water, and dehydration severely impairs exercise performance and recovery. Drink 300 to 500 milliliters of fluid 30 to 120 minutes before training. and 100 to 150 milliliters of electrolyte-containing sports drink every 15 minutes during exercise. After training, replenish fluids based on weight loss. Drink 1.5 liters of fluid for every 1 kilogram of body weight lost. Vitamins and minerals play key roles in energy production and immune function regulation. Ensure a varied diet and obtain sufficient micronutrients from natural foods like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. Post-workout recovery is a critical stage for muscle growth, just as important as the training itself. The recovery mechanism after physical exercise is a complex physiological and biochemical process, mainly including energy substrate replenishment, metabolic waste clearance, tissue repair and reconstruction, nervous system recovery, cardiovascular system adjustment, and endocrine regulation. In terms of energy substrate replenishment, the phosphagen system recovers relatively quickly, typically within 2 to 3 minutes, while muscle glycogen recovery takes 24 to 48 hours or longer. A high-carbohydrate diet can effectively accelerate this process. Metabolic waste clearance mainly involves the oxidative decomposition of lactic acid and the excretion of substances like ammonia and urea. Adequate rest and nutritional supplementation can speed up this process. Muscle damage repair is the core link in muscle growth. The micro tears in muscle fibers caused by exercise need to be repaired through protein synthesis, a process that requires sufficient protein and energy supply, as well as adequate rest time. Recovery schedules vary for different training levels. Beginners should rest every other day, intermediate trainees should take 2 rest days per week, and advanced trainees can train 5 to 6 days per week based on their physical state, ensuring they feel strong and energized. Connective tissues such as tendons and ligaments require longer recovery times, so avoid overloading during training to prevent chronic injuries. The recovery of the nervous and endocrine systems is also crucial. The nervous system is in an excited state during exercise and needs to gradually return to normal levels after training. And neurotransmitter balance also needs to be re-regulated. Hormonal adjustments directly affect muscle growth. Hormones like growth hormone and testosterone play important roles in promoting muscle synthesis, while bad habits such as staying up late and overtraining can disrupt the secretion of these hormones. Therefore, sufficient sleep is essential. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per day. Try to fall asleep before 11 p.m. and stay away from electronic devices 1 hour before bedtime to avoid blue light interfering with sleep quality. If you experience muscle soreness after training, you can relax your muscles and promote recovery through hot baths and static stretching. Once you can easily complete your established push-up training plan, muscle growth will enter a plateau. At this point, you need to break through your body's adaptation through scientific progression methods and continue to maintain progressive overload. Bodyweight progression methods mainly include the push-up bar or thick book elevation method and eccentric training intensification. Using push-up bars or elevating your hands with thick books allows your chest to sink lower during training, providing a fuller muscle stretch and increasing training difficulty by approximately 30%. This method also reduces wrist stress, making it suitable for trainees with wrist discomfort. The eccentric training intensification method increases training load by extending the eccentric contraction time of muscles. For example, after completing 10 standard push-ups, perform 3 slow eccentric push-ups, taking 3 to 4 seconds to lower your body. This training method can effectively increase muscle tension and yield significant muscle growth results. According to a 2025 meta-analysis in PubMed, eccentric training has a slight advantage in upper limb muscle growth. After 4 to 8 weeks of high-intensity eccentric training, muscle strength and circumference can be significantly improved. The scientific implementation of progressive overload needs to follow a certain logic and method. In the beginner stage, you can increase the number of reps per set by 1 to 2 or add 1 more set per week. In the intermediate stage, you can increase the load by shortening interset rest time, for example, reducing it from 90 seconds to 60 seconds or switching to more challenging push-up variations. In the advanced stage, you can adopt weighted training such as wearing a weighted vest or placing books in a backpack. or attempt more difficult variations like one-arm push-ups and clap push-ups. It's important to note that load increases must be based on proper form. Do not sacrifice movement quality for the sake of increasing load. Meanwhile, the training interval for large muscle groups should be at least 48 hours, and for small muscle groups 24 to 36 hours, ensuring that muscles have sufficient time to repair and grow and avoiding overtraining. Due to differences in physiological characteristics and physical conditions, different groups of people need to adopt targeted adjustments when performing push-up training. According to 2025 exercise recommendations released by the World Health Organization, adults aged 18 to 64 should engage in at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic exercise per week, along with at least 2 sessions of strength training targeting major muscle groups per week. 10 to 20, with 6 to 10 sets sufficient for beginners. When increasing load, follow the sequence. First increase reps, then add weight, and finally progress to more advanced variations. Female trainees do not need to worry about building overly bulky muscles through push-up training. This is because women's testosterone levels are only about 1/10 of men's, and testosterone is a key hormone for muscle synthesis. Lower testosterone levels mean women's muscle growth rate is 60% to 70%. Slower than men's, regular push-up training mainly improves muscle endurance and is unlikely to result in significant muscle hypertrophy. If female trainees aim to shape their bodies through push-ups, they can opt for knee push-ups with about 15 reps per set, combined with 150 minutes of aerobic exercise per week, and maintain a body fat percentage below 18%. This approach can effectively improve muscle firmness and enhance arm and chest lines. Supplementing with 20 grams of whey protein paired with a banana within 30 minutes after training can boost muscle protein synthesis efficiency. Meanwhile, control carbohydrate intake to 40% to 50% of total daily calories to avoid excess carbohydrates being stored as fat. Middle-aged and elderly people should prioritize safety when performing push-up training, opting for less challenging variations such as knee push-ups and incline push-ups. According to a 2024 study published in the Journal of Gerontology, 24 weeks of resistance training can significantly improve cardiac morphology and function in elderly women, having a positive impact on cardiovascular health. Middle-aged and elderly trainees should conduct thorough warm-up exercises before training, such as 5 minutes of brisk walking and shoulder circles. During training, maintain natural breathing and avoid holding your breath to prevent excessive blood pressure fluctuations. After training, perform 2 to 3 minutes of static stretching, focusing on relaxing the chest muscles, shoulders, and triceps. Train 2 to 3 times per week, with each session lasting 15 to 20 minutes, at an intensity that causes mild fatigue after training and allows the fatigue to subside almost completely the next day. If you have chronic conditions such as hyperlipidemia or diabetes, you should train under the guidance of a doctor or professional coach and avoid adjusting training intensity on your own. Many trainees are curious about how long it takes to see muscle growth results from push-up training. According to 2025 data from Food Health, the onset of muscle growth effects is influenced by various factors such as training intensity, dietary intake, and baseline physical fitness, showing significant individual differences. Muscle endurance improves relatively quickly after 4 to 8 weeks of moderate intensity training, 3 to 5 sessions per week, 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps each. Combined with a scientific diet, you will clearly notice an increase in the number of push-ups you can complete. Changes in muscle definition take longer. Beginners with AMI is less than or equal to 24 usually need 8 weeks to build muscle memory and see noticeable improvements in muscle lines, while those with a foundation in strength training may notice changes in as little as 4 weeks. Significant increases in muscle circumference require 8 to 12 weeks of consistent training. During this period, chest circumference typically increases by 5 to 8 centimeters, but the weekly growth rate should not exceed 1% of the original circumference to avoid stretch marks on the skin. To ensure continuous muscle growth, you need to monitor your physical state regularly and adjust your training plan accordingly. Keep a training log to record the number of sets, reps, and movement difficulty each session, tracking changes in training load. Measure your chest circumference, upper arm circumference, and other body measurements at a fixed time each week to observe muscle growth progress. At the same time, pay attention to indicators such as fatigue levels, sleep quality, and appetite. Persistent fatigue, poor sleep, and decreased appetite may be signs of overtraining. Reduce training intensity and increase rest time promptly. Additionally, fully adjust your training plan every 8 weeks by changing movement variations, adjusting training frequency, or modifying the pace of load progression. This avoids long-term adaptation to a single training mode and ensures that muscles continue to receive new stimulation. As a classic bodyweight resistance training movement, the muscle-building value of push-ups cannot be fully realized without scientific movement standards, systematic training progression, reasonable nutritional supplementation, and adequate recovery regulation. Different groups of people should develop targeted training plans based on their physiological characteristics and training goals, combined with authoritative sports nutrition guidelines and health recommendations. Maintain a balanced diet, ensure sufficient sleep and rest. Monitor your physical state regularly, and adjust your training plan in a timely manner. Only by doing so can you avoid training mistakes and achieve your muscle growth goals. Fitness is a long-term journey, and muscle building requires patience and consistency. Push-up training does not require expensive equipment or professional venues with scientific methods. You can train anytime, anywhere. It is hoped that every fitness enthusiast can correctly understand the logic of muscle growth through push-ups by mastering the knowledge summarized in this article. Avoid common training mistakes. And in the process of persistent training, not only gain strong upper limb muscles but also develop healthy lifestyle habits. If you have hit a plateau in your push-up training or have questions about movement, form, and dietary matching, feel free to share your training experiences and doubts in the comments section. We can explore solutions together. Also, please share this article with friends who also love fitness, so that more people can learn about scientific fitness knowledge and improve their physical fitness through reasonable training and a healthy lifestyle.